But I'm not talking into a mic. Whoo! All right, Foot Clan. So we are live.
Yep,
Let's
looks
mute
like
our
it.
computers.
I see it. We're looking a little bit choppy.
We'll catch up.
Did you mute?
Howdy, Chris Howell. Glad you're here with us. It's been a busy day of some tilt trading.
Yeah, Josh
Josh
is here.
Lehman is
Papa
here.
Josh.
Papa Josh. And we got
Wow.
Josh Van Klump.
Are we this choppy to everyone else?
Are we choppy?
Because we're super
your
choppy
stream?
to me.
We should probably pop this video, the chat out.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah.
And close the video.
We're choppy today.
Well, we're also streaming the video on a bunch of devices.
Yeah, I'm not sure that that's the problem.
Yeah, let us know if the video is choppy or not, please. Oh, yes, it is choppy. Like 24 frames per second,
Yeah.
old school Atari. Cool.
What's up, everybody? Fantasy Footballers here. You'll notice that Andy is not here. Andy is dealing with personal life issues. So we let him off the hook. We let him off the hook. He had so that sounds ominous, but Andy's all right. Just had to take off for the afternoon. We
thought we'd improve the live stream.
Yeah,
today
we got a hairier.
Yep, got a lot hairier.
Carrying is herring.
Now, if you're a Bears fan, not a fan of Bears, but like a Chicago Bears fan, are you happy right now?
That's a great question.
You just beat Seattle at home.
Brooks, is the soundboard on?
You dominated Deshaun Kaiser for a half. Are you happy, though? Because I wouldn't be happy. Like, I'm not happy with the Bears. My expectation for the Bears and what I thought they could be has been eradicated.
Well, here's where, if you're a Bears fan, you are unhappy. Patrick Mahomes has how many touchdowns?
6. Oh, no, that was just last week.
Yeah. What did he throw in week 1?
I think 5. Is he at 11 touchdowns?
So he has double-digit touchdowns or whatever. He's throwing in a touchdown at an 18% clip.
Right.
Patrick Mahomes was going to be readily available at pick number 3, but they traded up to pick number 2, and they took Mitch Trubisky.
In fairness, they gave up a lot to move that one spot to take a team, to take that spot from a team that was not going to draft a quarterback. That was one of the worst trades.
Correct. They were not going to. And then there's been Patrick Mahomes' success. Granted, only 2 games, but you've also seen the success of Deshaun Watson, who went much later in the draft as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Was there one more?
No
QB in there, or that was the 3?
Yeah. No, there were 4 quarterbacks. Kaiser's the other one.
Kaiser,
who
went in the second round. Yeah. Well,
not quite as
you're
good.
glad you didn't draft Kaiser.
All right. Looks like we've got someone in from England. Bonjour.
Bonjour. I'm glad you're here. England. Where are you seeing this?
In the chat. Are you not in the chat?
I am.
Scroll.
Oh, yeah. Steven.
There you go. Steven.
Or as they pronounce it in England, is Stefan. I'm not sure if you knew that.
Great timing for sleeper update on Jordan Howard. What? Brooks, hit me with an update.
Oh, Coach Matt Nagy said Jordan Howard needs, quote, probably a few more carries.
I probably agree. I'm happy with Howard. Howard is the only thing I'm happy with on that team. He's the clear workhorse. Tyreek is not a threat at all. People were like, "Oh, is it going to, be a split backfield?" Not at all. Now, their offense has not moved well, but I mean, he's been fine. He's been fine in 2 poor games where he didn't wreck your fantasy team. So, no, I'm pretty happy with him. I'm not happy with his teammate Trey Burton. Trey Burton's fine. I'm not happy with his teammate Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah.
Trubisky business. All right. What questions do you guys have for us? Welcome to the live stream. Thank you guys so much for your support of the show. Hope you're enjoying your first 2 weeks in fantasy football. Hope you are doing better than me.
Yeah. Speaking of Jason and his team, our good friend Jeremy came by.
So
Jeremy and Jace's team faced off this past week.
Mine and Brooks's team.
Yes,
you get credit when you lose, bro.
I'm winking. The juggernaut. Wink, wink.
Dude, our team
I
is
wanted to draft.
our team is still great.
Your
but
team coming in before any football had been played, you had the best looking fantasy football team I've ever seen.
agreed. Now that we're 2 weeks in,
Before
I'm
football
0-2.
had been
I've got
played.
some injuries. If you were to objectively look at my team as it stands now knowing what we know, is my team great?
Is your team great? No.
What?
You're
If you're telling me
Let me
that if
go.
you saw this roster, if someone said, "Hey, how's my team?" you wouldn't respond with
gonna
one
look.
word, and it's great.
I'm gonna look, and I will.
You guys be the judge. Here's my team.
Oh no, hold on. Let me pull it up.
Read
here.
it. Read it to the
All
people.
right. So at the quarterback position, Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
I would say that's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty good. Dalvin Cook. Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty darn good.
Pretty good. I mean, he's not even a top 24 running back through the first 2 weeks of the season.
Oh, boo-hoo. 2 weeks in. He looks great. His utilization's been great. He plays Buffalo this week. Let's see if he's a top 12 running back after this next week.
Just saying, 16 for 40, 10 for 38.
Where would Dalvin Cook be drafted in a startup draft after week 2?
Where would he be drafted? Probably
back of the first, early second.
I was going to say back of the second. You are sniffing your own butt,
I'm
man.
not sniffing any butts.
Keenan Allen, Michael Thomas will not deny the duo of your wide receivers.
I like how he just. But Keenan Allen, Michael Thomas. Let's keep moving.
No, I'm because there's nothing to say. Those are great.
Okay,
that's great. That's legit. Amari Cooper, maybe.
Hey, in a flex,
yeah,
or warming a bench.
Sure.
What else I got?
After that, things start to get a little bit dicey. Devonta Freeman.
He's out a couple weeks and is a clear-cut RB1 when he's in the game. Is that wrong?
Clear-cut RB1 is 100% wrong.
Okay.
A low-end RB1,
yes.
I will allow that.
Yeah.
I will allow that.
A clear-cut low-end RB1. That's what I
Sure, but is he going to miss 2 weeks? Is he going to miss 3 weeks? Is he going to re-injure the injury, which is already a re-injury?
We will get to your questions, but we got to have this out.
Sony Michel, jury's still out. Jamal Williams, it's fine. It's fine. It could get a whole lot worse really rapidly with the return of Aaron Jones. O.J. Howard, it's fine.
You did skip David Johnson.
I was saving him for the end.
Okay.
Trey Burton, I still believe Randall Cobb is good enough to come through, but then you go to David Johnson. David Johnson. If you want to talk about redraft value, okay.
Yeah.
I want you to answer this honestly.
Okay, honestly.
If the first round happened today, chances that David Johnson is a top 6 pick.
Is a top 6 pick. You would definitely take Todd Gurley, Ezekiel Elliott, Saquon, Gordon, probably McCaffrey,
Kamara
for sure. So I would say no, he's probably not a top 6 pick.
Okay,
he's still a first round pick.
Sure, David Johnson's a bust.
And that's all the time we have for the live stream. Anyways, so my team that looks great and is great.
Foot Clan, you understand how much that hurts me to say that, and like that's not something that I can just come right out and say on the big show because you have to.
Because he doesn't have the glasses on.
Yeah, but I mean we can let the hair down on this show, and he might not be, of course. I'm just. I am on red alert.
So we'll let them decide.
Red
great or not great. Here's a recap of the team. Just read the team so they know it. Quarterback, Russell Wilson. Running back, David Johnson, Devonta Freeman, Dalvin Cook, Jamal Williams, Sony Michel. Wide receivers, Keenan Allen, Michael Thomas, Amari Cooper, Randall Cobb. Am I forgetting anybody? Trey Burton. Rams defense, Justin Tucker. I mean, we got to go whole roster here. Great or not great? But I am admittedly 0-2, and I lost to someone who is in our studio often, and he got me a gift.
Yeah.
He got us a gift, Brooks.
Jeremy was so kind.
We got a tribute cake. It is an 0-2 the other cameras aren't on. This is an 0-2 tribute.
Hold on, Brooks is going to get these cameras on.
He's getting it going. We'll show you a close up. It's unbelievable. And our team name is Tenacious Z because we were the zombies in another thing, and we both like Tenacious D. And he was saying that our team it's not the greatest team in the world. It's a tribute.
It is, yeah.
And so
that is very accurate.
Yeah, so
it's not the greatest team
there
in the
you
world.
go. 0-2.
It's just it's just a tribute.
And I can't eat this because I'm on keto. But Brooks, you got yourself a cake to take home.
Congratulations.
All right, let's get to your questions and see all the people saying great. I'm gonna. All right, let's see.
I don't even know where to go from there. I'm so sad of those words I had to say.
Jordan Howard, a bust for where he was drafted. I can agree, but it's so early.
I know that's why you can't just come out and be like, oh, it's done, it's over. There's so much football left.
Jason Owen wants to know, he's not happy with Trey Burton. Neither am I. Do I stay strong or drop Doyle, Ebron, Eifert, and Howard available on the waivers? You don't drop him. He's still utilized in the offense. He's still getting targets. He had a touchdown this week and 4 tight ends in a murky spot. But when you have Trey Burton, it's one of the rare situations where I think it's okay to roster another one. If you wanted to roster Eifert and play the matchups, or if you wanted to roster OJ Howard and see if he has a breakout, I'm okay with that. But I wouldn't drop Burton. I think he'll have more target opportunity than most guys on waivers.
I agree. I don't know where you read that from. So
I read that from the chat, the YouTube chat that we're all about.
But who was that?
That's a good question. That was from Jason Owen.
Jason Owen. Okay. All right. We got it. Ray Smith. Who makes the decision on if Howard gets more carries or not?
He's making a joke that Nagy wants to get him more involved, and he's the complete person.
And Lindsay L. That is a box of glitter. Lindsay, where have you been?
Oh,
welcome back.
Hello. Long time.
I was going
to. Lucky Monkey. Is it time to move Fitz or wait for a hot streak? I don't think it's time to move Fitz. I pumped the brakes on Larry Fitzgerald this last week, solely because you're on the road against the Rams last year. Keep in mind, last year Larry Fitzgerald had over 100 yards, 1,000 touchdowns. He had 3 receptions for 30 yards against the Rams when he was in LA. That's why I pumped the brakes. No, you hold on to Larry. Definitely don't trade him now. If you want to trade him because the Arizona Cardinals offense looks bad, and I get that, don't trade him off the heels of a complete stinker.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Jason, how worried about the G-Man O-line? Should I try and trade OBJ, and what should I try and target? I want to go trade for OBJ.
Yeah, he is a legitimate trade for target in our there's a couple leagues that we play in, and unfortunately the guy that has Odell Beckham is a Giants fan. So you just know you're never going to get Odell Beckham from him. But otherwise, I would be targeting Odell Beckham. The first half of the Giants game, it was just Beckham and Barkley. And then for some reason, whether it was scheme or actually, I know the reason, it was the defensive line destroying the Giants' offensive line. Beckham was taken out of the game, but
looked a lot like the Seahawks game.
Yeah. I am not trading away Odell.
How do NFL GMs and front offices not learn the lesson of you need to have an offensive line?
Well, I think they all know the lesson. No NFL GM goes, yeah, you don't need an offensive line.
But what can you say? What's the absolute similarity between the Seattle Seahawks and the New York Giants this last year?
Yeah, I mean, they've got bad offensive lines.
And what did they do in the draft in the very first round?
They both drafted running backs. Now, I don't blame the Giants for not taking an offensive lineman there because they should have taken a quarterback.
But they took a running back.
Sure.
I mean, my point is these GMs, with their actions, are saying they honestly believe that a running back will fix the problems of the rushing game.
Necessarily. They are saying that they honestly believe that the players available at that draft spot the offensive linemen available were not worth the running back
Right,
available.
but if you're at number 2, you can do a bunch of things. You can trade back.
Yeah, I mean, no, look, the Giants should never have taken Barkley. They should have taken Sam Darnold and had a future. Let's see. That was Jason Howe. Blackwing Bird. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, hola. Stefan. Stefan. What do you guys think of Hyde and Powell on Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys like those RB2s? 2 different leagues, or should I look at Lynch, Breida, Derrick Henry?
Henry is out 100%. He's playing Jacksonville. I know that off the top of my head. Marshawn has been great.
Marshawn's been great, and Breida's been great. I mean, tomorrow we're going to really be digging into our rankings and looking at all the matchups. I mean, the work hasn't been completely done, so don't take everything we say right now for this week's matchup as the standard. If we change our opinion over the next week, it's because research has dictated it. I think I would, but Hyde and Powell are also really good options. There's an advantage
to playing Thursday,
playing on Thursday from a schematic standpoint. But that depends on your team. If your team has a bench full of either safe or boom guys, then play the Thursday night guy and know which one of the other flex options you might use. It's hard for me though to think I'm benching Breida.
Against
yeah, who's San Francisco?
I was going to say Detroit, but they just played them.
Yeah, you look that up. I'll look at the next question.
I believe it's the Chiefs.
We have updated sheets.
I did not look.
Too, guys.
Ray Smith wants to know what my record is in Dynasty. It's 2-0, Ray Smith.
It is the Kansas City Chiefs.
The Chiefs. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that they're going to have to be passing to catch up and a lot of points scored. So and the Chiefs don't have a great defense. So I think I would go Breida there. Let's see. Damon, my coworker, is asking Wentz versus Fitzmagic.
Who's Philly plays the Colts.
I'm going Wentz.
That's what you're going to go Wentz?
No, I'm not getting crazy with
Rusty
Fitzmagic.
Wentz. Or
Wentz has been practicing. He has not been in a game, but I trust him. I trust his options. I trust his offense. I trust his offensive line.
We've been talking about what new segment are we going to do, and I have reminded us not to forget, but we have our talent versus opportunity segment. Write that down. We might actually be able to do that tomorrow because Carson Wentz versus Ryan Fitzpatrick is a fantastic question.
See, but the difference is, and maybe we'll just get into this again on the main show, but Wentz has talent and opportunity.
No, it's
the Colts,
right? I agree with that, but you're ruining the whole premise of the bit.
Well, that's my job.
Of a guy you're playing just because of the opportunity,
right?
Versus the player who is your go-to, you plug.
But usually, whenever it's a talent versus opportunity, the tiebreakers if anybody has both.
Yeah, but
if Wentz were to be in Carolina going up against Carolina versus Fitzmagic having his opportunity,
Carolina's not a scary defense.
I didn't want to go Jacksonville because obviously that would swing it too far. No. I was just throwing something out. If he was playing a tough defense, I don't know who's a tough defense to you. That's not. If he was playing the Chargers,
sure,
they're not that tough without Joey Bosa right now.
Yeah.
Bad examples from Jason.
We'll work on it.
All right, where are we at? You got a question?
Let's see. Matt Greenberg says drafted Luck. Was curious, would you drop him for Fitzmagic? No. I would not drop Andrew Luck.
Oh, drop Andrew Luck?
Drop Andrew Luck because then you're streaming. If you want to play Fitzmagic this particular weekend against the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm okay with that instead of Luck versus the Eagles.
Here's an interesting trade. I'm not even sure how I feel about it. He traded Keelan Cole and Jordan Reed, full point PPR.
Okay.
For Robbie Anderson and Travis Kelce. So you upgraded your tight end.
Keelan Cole and who?
Jordan Reed.
For Travis Kelce
and Robbie Anderson.
I like that side.
Yeah, I think I prefer that side, obviously because of Kelce. But Robbie Anderson I just can't even imagine starting him while Darnold is there until he starts opening up maybe second half of the season. But, I mean, I would probably – like if Robbie Anderson was on my roster right now, I more than likely cut him for. There's got to be someone on waivers I like more than Robbie Anderson. I mean, Ted Ginn is on most waivers still.
Right. Something I'm going to look up. I guess this will just have if he was completely out. But when Keelan Cole was on fire last year, was Leonard Fournette playing?
I don't remember. You'll have to tell me.
And the hard part about this, the one I'm looking up,
All right,
is
would
just
you-
going to be was he in or out?
Would you trade Marshawn Lynch? This is from Kenny Wynn. This is an interesting question. Would you trade Marshawn Lynch and Larry Fitzgerald for David Johnson? In a vacuum.
Marshawn Lynch and Larry. Would I trade those two to get David Johnson?
I know my answer.
Yes, I would.
I would 100%.
Yeah, it's worth the risk, even if I feel like we're in red flag, full danger. Everything is melting down. You know what he can do.
Yeah.
So it's worth it. Here's the splits, Jason. 14 games with. Now it's hard because Keelan Cole didn't really emerge into being a starter, but 14 games with Leonard Fournette, 4 games without him. This is last year and this year. In games with Leonard Fournette, 6.8 PPR points, 36 yards a game, and 5 targets. In games without him, 18 PPR points a game, 6 targets. So only 1 more target a game, but 103 yards.
Yeah, I'm going to basically bank on what you already brought up, that it includes his games before he was a starter.
Right, but we also know I mean,
that's only four games without him. He's had a lot more than 4 quality games.
But not a lot more, maybe 2 more. But the numbers, I don't have them right in front of me. The Jacksonville Jaguars score a lot more points when Leonard Fournette is not playing.
Yeah, they have to throw the ball more. The clock doesn't slow down. I mean, that makes sense.
They run a different offense, and
you can't slow the game down as much without Leonard Fournette. But I mean, when you've got a defense like that, you don't want to have to keep up. You don't want to have to score more. You don't want the clock to, constantly be stopping. You want to get that game over with and win with your defense.
I think that's a mistake. I think that this particular weekend was a perfect example of that. If they had Leonard Fournette, I think they go full turtle yet again in the second half against the Patriots, and they end up losing that game. But because they didn't have Fournette, they kept it open and end up coming out with the W.
And so I just looked it up with Keelan Cole. So the first 7 games of last year, where Leonard Fournette was in most of those games, if not all of them, he averaged 1.1 reception. Right. I mean, he just wasn't a part of the game yet. So I don't. That's a cool sounding stat that would mislead people. All right.
So wait, so like the first 7 games?
Yeah. When did Fournette go out?
Last year?
Yeah.
I don't have it in front of me. I'm looking at a split.
All right. We've got someone agreeing with you. Josh Van Klomp agrees with Mike as a Vikings homer. Late second, early third for Dalvin today.
There you go. Vikings homer. You are lucky that you have Brooks on your team, because he is going to keep you balanced. I think Brooks is going to tell you like it is.
And he's shaking his head yes. Where would you see Dalvin Cook right now in a startup draft, Brooks?
Mid to late second.
Mid to late second. So he's splitting the difference between us. All right. Second round.
That's what I was thinking when you were discussing that.
All right.
Jason has it 101 David Johnson, 102 Dalvin Cook.
No, that's not true. They're 101A and 101B.
I can't even decide.
Let's see. When you guys are talking about the dollar amounts in Fab, Jake wants to know, you're talking about $100 budget?
We are, but that's why we talk in generalities and percentages.
Yeah, I mean, when we say $30, you could take that as 30%.
Right. But I try to say 30% on the show. If I'm not saying percent, I apologize. That's what I'm meaning to say, which is really easy math. Even I can do that math of 30% is $30.
It's impressive. I'll bet you, Jake, that you play in a $100 Fab league. Yeah. Most leagues are that way, so if people don't know, they're probably going to be right. But not all leagues are 100, so that's good to point out. You guys didn't mention Wentz playing this week. This boosts Aguilar to wide receiver 2. Yeah.
False, Stefan. We talked about it on Monday.
Oh,
We did it was a breaking news.
Yes, it was a
thing,
breaking
so
news,
maybe
but we
that's
mentioned
why.
that he will be playing. Just
We
saying,
did.
egg is on your face.
oh man, so much egg. It's scrambled.
Is it an upgrade for Nelson Aguilar? It is not just an upgrade. It is turbojets because Nick Foles stinks.
Yeah, and we made a joke that Alshon will probably come back whenever Wentz does. So we'll see. I haven't heard anything on Alshon.
I don't think Alshon comes
that
back this week.
very well might not be true. If Alshon is out and Wentz is in, then yeah, Aguilar's you have to start him.
Yes, agreed. I think he's a must start even once Alshon is back. Where Jason Owen, Ballers suggested dropping Robbie Anderson after a week. Oh, talking about Robbie. See, whoa,
Trade-
mine just jumped to the bottom. I teleported.
I hate when that happens. Edgar, trade either Jimmy Graham or Kittle for Cole or Kenny G. So it sounds like he's got both Jimmy Graham and George Kittle, which means you should definitely trade one of them. And his targets are Keelan Cole or Kenny G. What would be out of those 4 players? What would be your?
What would I hope to do?
What tight end do you want to get rid of? For which wide receiver do you want?
I
know my answer.
That's tough because I think the value, the value is definitely skewed, and that's, I guess, okay. Because when I'm saying that, I mean like Jimmy Graham in a common league should be worth more than Kenny Golladay or Keelan Cole to the 2 other people, not to me, but to other people. So
You're saying if you went to trade Jimmy Graham, you can get more.
Yes, but I'm just going to work in the framework of this trade. I am going to trade George Kittle for Kenny Golladay,
and I would trade George Kittle for Keelan Cole. That's the pair. But either way, I mean, you would trade George Kittle before Jimmy Graham.
As much as I crap on Jimmy Graham, he still was higher in my rankings than George Kittle.
That's also true. All right.
I had lost my
Josh
spot.
Van Klump. It's his first year playing Dynasty. How do you balance between winning now and playing for the future?
Always play for now.
Yeah, I mean that's the truth. Always play for now, but
figure it out later.
You want to not entirely figure it out later. You want to keep an eye on age. You want to keep an eye on contracts. That's one of the things that for a new dynasty, your best friend is Spot Track. If you're saying that right.
I call it Spo Track.
Spo Track. Google it.
Spo Track or Over the Cap.
Yeah, either one. But you need to look at players' salaries and their contract, when they can get cut for no money. Things, because the NFL is a vicious beast of a business.
Yes.
And you just made a dynasty trade today, right?
I did. I traded Carlos Hyde and Michael Crabtree. I traded for Alshon Jeffrey and Isaiah Crowell.
I'd rather have Hyde than Crowell.
Yes.
But when you looked at the contracts,
they're very, very similar. Where, excuse me, if things go south for either of these guys, for Hyde or for Crowell, both of them are right around a $2 million dead cap. If they cut them after this season, it won't shock me to see either or both of them cut. I actually think Crowell has a little bit of a better chance of holding on if Cleveland decides that they spent a 2nd-round pick on Nick Chubb, go forward with him. I would expect that more than Isaiah Crowell getting cut.
All right, Dan Dude, man.
Dude.
Lost Mixon. Running back one is David Johnson.
Dude.
Should I pick up Breida or Bernard? It's clearly Breida to me. I mean, you're the Mixon owner.
Yeah.
But
that's why it's tough.
It's tough because do you want to? Well, you've got David Johnson, man.
Gio Bernard.
I take back the clearly. The clearly is not so clear.
I don't have my ranks. Well, we've talked about it, but I will be shocked if Matt Breida ends up in front of Gio Bernard in my rankings this week and or next week.
Yeah, that is tough. The truth is, and I guess if you're in a waiver priority system, you got to target one. If you're in a fab system, you grab both those guys. You cut some stupid wide receiver, or you cut a mediocrely good wide receiver. But you should have both those guys if you're in a fab league and you can
I
grab them.
can agree with that.
All right.
People are talking about a cake, a wheel of cake.
A wheel of cake. This cake right here, if you're just tuning in, my 0-2 tribute cake from my opponent. See, that's how you roast someone. You get them a gift.
We really should just put that in the fridge, and I will buy a number 3 for next week.
Stop it. I'm gonna cry. Dang it. It's so hard to respond.
Flip side, have you ever seen a grown man weep? Because next you tune in on Monday.
No, I'm dominating this week.
Josh, you're lucky that Josh's team is garbage.
Oh,
but
that cake is gonna be happy birthday to the ground. Okay, I'm not eating that. Nobody's eating that. I'm not respecting that cake.
Okay, Carson Davis or Buck Allen in my flex spot. I would go with Buck Allen since Carson Davis sounds like a made-up person.
I think that's 2 people. Maybe Chris Carson, Corey Davis, or Buck Allen.
Or Carson Daly.
Oh, then I would go with Carson Daly.
I mean, talk show host extraordinaire.
Yeah. I mean, he's still getting it done at age 50. I don't know. And is he getting it done? I don't know what's Carson Daly.
His last call still going?
I don't even know what that show is.
I feel like he's always on those NBC New Year countdowns. So
yes, that's true.
He must still have a television show.
That's true. Stafford or Fitzmagic?
If that's Corey Davis, it's Corey Davis.
Stafford or Fitzmagic rest of season? Stafford. That's even if Fitz plays the rest of the season.
Let's handicap it right now. Your percentage chance that Fitzmagic can make it. Let's start with the full season.
40%.
I would go with 10%.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it all comes down to this week. Because if he goes out and wins, you have to make a commitment to him. You're not just saying, well, we're gonna,
that's a fair
play
point.
with him until we made a mistake. So, but if they go out and they win this week and they commit to Fitzpatrick as the starter, I think they're going to give him some rope.
So here, what then does that do to your team, to Jameis Winston? Jameis Winston, who is supposed to be the face and the franchise quarterback for this team. If you say no, journeyman Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to play ahead of you now and for the foreseeable future.
I think it gives hope to another NFL franchise that maybe needs somebody. I mean, the Giants, we talked about, oh, they should have drafted a quarterback. Maybe they can get Jameis Winston. You know what I mean?
Right.
Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota, they might not be long for starters for their team, but they're just a little bit too talented.
Right.
To be out of work. I mean, you got guys signing contracts that A.J. McCarron signed to be a starter at one point this offseason.
You got backup money.
That's true. That's true. All right.
Do you drop the Chargers D for the Browns D this week?
Yes, but I would prefer to not drop. Carrying 2 defenses for a matchup, like for instance, perfect example, I've got the Los Angeles Rams who are playing San Diego. So it's like
in my head, I heard the Los Angeles Chargers are playing San Diego.
This week, right? It's the
yes,
LA
you got it right. It's LA versus LA.
LA versus LA. I don't really want to. I would play the Browns over either of those defenses because I think it's going to be a pretty high scoring game. Maybe the Rams are so legit that they shut the Chargers down. I could see it happening, but
48 point over under.
Yeah, exactly. So Vegas doesn't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. But I'm not going to drop the Rams. I'm more willing to play the Rams than drop them for the Browns. But if there's another player that I could drop, which of course on my roster is not, then I would drop that player, or I would try to do a 2-for-1 trade to clear up a roster spot. And
speaking of, there was just a sleeper alert talking about Jameis Winston I think he's now being sued by the woman. It's
been a good couple weeks for Jameis.
Message to the fellas: just be a man. Be
a good man.
Be a good man. Like
I think being a man, you can't just say.
Yeah. Thank you.
Be a good man.
Stop. Like what is personal space, man?
Wolf.
Ridiculous.
Stang. Wolf String. No idea.
Wolf Strange. Oh, that reminds me. A great time to bring this up. Have you dug into the new Wolverine podcast?
No, I remember when it got signed to be made.
I
but
am through. I'm like halfway through episode 2. I'm in it, man. I'm in it.
why you telling? They got to listen to this. You go footballers. You go
Oh,
footballers
yeah.
DFS. You
It's
go
good. It's a
spitballers.
good point. It's a good point.
If you're through all those, okay, Wolverine.
Yeah, you should check out the Spitballers podcast. It's hilarious.
I'm
It's us. We're very funny. But the
I'm
Wolverine
guessing that
podcast,
everybody on this live stream knows about the Spitballers podcast. We get a lot of people that
more
say,
than likely.
"How did I not hear
Yeah.
about the Spitballers? I didn't know you guys were doing another podcast." But you guys know. You're the in crowd. You're the cool kids.
But back to Wolverine. It's pretty cool. You should check it out.
I probably will.
What was Wolf Strange's drop Allison or Cobb for Bernard?
Drop Allison or Cobb for Bernard? Yeah, I would drop either. I would drop them. I'll drop Allison before Cobb if you've got them, but I either, both if you needed to. I mean,
what's crazy is I have to make at some point this week, I'm going to have to make a drop from my team to get a kicker.
right?
And the drop is probably Antonio Callaway.
Sure.
Because in my most clear drops are Geronimo Allison and Antonio Callaway. And I'm finding it difficult to actually drop Geronimo.
Makes sense. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he's only going to get better. Last week was Minnesota.
I mean, he is in our league. Geronimo is wide receiver 26.
Yeah. And I think he's got room to go up.
Right. I mean, he's 9.4 this past week. That's for just a fringe guy who I can turn to.
But you would drop Allison before Cobb.
I think so. That's not for certain though. I haven't been in on Cobb this whole offseason.
Yeah.
Though.
I mean, he's wide receiver 18 in our scoring system. So I would stick with Cobb, but yeah. For Gio, especially as the Mixon owner.
Yeah, you got to get it done. You got to get him.
Jets defense or Browns defense this week? I'm definitely going Browns.
Are you?
Yeah, I mean, they're in the same game. And they're in Cleveland, I believe, if
memory
serves me correctly.
They are, and Cleveland is favored.
And Cleveland's defense,
for the first time in 25 years.
Cleveland's defense is really good, and that's coming from the guy that craps all over Cleveland all the time. They'll find a way to lose the game. And, like, don't get me wrong. They'll come out with a loss, and they'll find some magical way to do it, or at least a tie. But their defense has gone up against, the Saints and the Steelers.
Right.
And they're the fourth highest scoring defense in fantasy so far with those matchups. You've got an awesome pass rush.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
that's a good point.
Against Sam Darnold at home, definitely.
It's a good point. We missed one from David. Said, do I drop RSJ with how bad the Cardinals are? My answer is a 100% yes.
Yes, I completely agree.
He was a flyer that you had hoped would turn into something, but the Cardinals offense turned into a pumpkin.
What's crazy is if you watch, you can see all of the reason for, I mean, I know we get called homers for the RSJ pick, but if you look at Twitter and you look at fantasy analysts, we're not on an island with RSJ. A lot of people were recommending him, and you watch and you go, oh, I totally see why.
Yeah.
He's the pass catching tight end. He's targeted left, right, and center. He's involved, and they don't have a number 2 wide receiver. But if your offense as a whole is that bad, which nobody expected it to be this bad,
right?
Even people that thought the Cardinals are going to, they're not going to be a great offense. They're not going to be a good offense. This is putrid.
Yeah.
They didn't get the ball across the 50 until the last minute of garbage time.
Dylan Duncan made it. What's up?
Hey,
what's going on,
Dylan Duncan?
Kevin Nolan, pick up Geronimo or Marvin Jones. I would still pick up Marvin Jones.
Yes, I completely agree. Oh, I went to the bottom.
Oh no. Trade David Johnson for Le'Veon Bell.
Wow. Don't ask that.
Because you don't know the answer.
Would you trade David Johnson for Le'Veon Bell? Wow. That's the most my whole brain just went in a knot. I've in our main leagues, we've got 3 leagues we actually care about. I've been the Lev Bell owner and the David Johnson owner. And so I understand
so
the
you
struggles
can do
of
both sides. Okay,
yeah.
The listener league, you can flip Le'Veon Bell for David Johnson right now. Would you do it?
Who would I rather have right now? Man, I mean, I
The
feel like I
hope,
have to give an
David
answer.
Johnson.
The hope and
I
dream
think-
of Le'Veon Bell just kicking the door open. Strobe
Here's the
lights are
thing.
behind him. Smoke machines are going off. The confetti's blowing up everywhere. Le'Veon Bell is here to save your fantasy football season.
If Lev Bell comes back, whether it's next week or week 10, if he comes back, which notice I said if, he's going to be great. He's going to be unbelievable for fantasy. You can't.
Fresh legs.
Yes, very fresh. David Johnson probably is not going to be fantastic and great for fantasy this season, but he could be good. He could be a really good back this season, but you get him the whole year. Would you rather have a really good back,
Right.
low end RB1, high end RB2 for the whole season? I think I'd take David Johnson.
Yeah, I think I would as well.
Man.
But
You guys crazy with these
if we
questions.
if we get to week 5, we're going to be talking about if you're 5-0, you need to go get Le'Veon Bell right now.
Sure.
That's what you have to focus on. Also, if you're 2-0, if you're 0, I mean, probably if you're 0-2, you can make it happen as well. But especially if you're 2-0, go get Mark Ingram. This is your last chance, I think, right now, because 2 weeks in fantasy football, that's forever. If you wait through this weekend and then the person who drafted Mark Ingram only has to wait one more week to get him back, they're not going to trade him.
See, here's the problem with drafting a guy like Mark Ingram. If you're the person that drafted Mark Ingram and your starter goes down, let's say you drafted Lev Bell, you drafted David Johnson, you drafted Fournette, you drafted whoever, and you also drafted Mark Ingram, you're just screwed.
And you're spending a lot of money on Gio Bernard and Corey Clement right
Or
now.
you're making a trade. You're saying,
Right.
look, I wanted this, but I got to pivot. And so, yeah, I think Mark Ingram is someone that can definitely be had.
Got offered Aaron Jones for Jack Doyle. They have Trey Burton. Yeah. Would you trade Jack Doyle for Aaron Jones? I would.
Yeah, I would rather have Aaron Jones.
Just go for
Jack
it.
Doyle.
I like Jack Doyle.
I like Jack Doyle.
I think he's still a low end tight end one.
I agree with that, but the low end tight end ones are worthless.
Fair.
I mean, they're worthless.
Fair point. Christopher, David Johnson, and Gronk for Melvin Gordon.
No,
You're giving up too much.
That's too much. I did. I tried to offer. I saw someone on Twitter say, "Hey, someone offered me Melvin Gordon for David Johnson. Would you do it?" And I was like, "Heck yeah, I would do it. I would much rather have the offense of the Chargers right now." And I was like, "Oh man, I'm David Johnson owner. Maybe I can get that done in my league." And I went and I looked up and I forgot Mike has Melvin Gordon. I still offered it as a joke, but
I thought about it.
Yeah, for
long and hard.
Yeah.
Jason Owens asking about, can you confidently play McCoy? Well, I
No.
mean, he's got the cracked ribs. I don't think McCoy is going to play this week, even though.
Well, if he plays, I'm not playing McCoy this week.
So Marshawn Lynch, Cooper Kupp, Randall Cobb. That's
I mean,
easy. I'd play Lynch or Kupp well ahead of McCoy.
100%. And even if he plays, it's Minnesota, right? I mean, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
Angelo,
Angelo,
get an update on Mike's complaints.
How do we know? How do people know about the Mike Gripe channel?
That is interesting. I do not know.
Somebody is leaking information. We have a mole.
Mm-hmm.
There's a mole. Is it you,
Damon?
Brooks?
Well, there's only one new person here. With
Oh,
us lately.
Baby Josh. Baby Josh isn't even in that channel.
Freaking turd. He doesn't even know
My
about
guess is that we've mentioned it on this.
We do have a
before,
Mike's
or
Gripes
Footcast.
channel. Any
That's where
updates?
That's where I got to let it. I know we've been all right.
Yeah, you've been a pretty
We've been
happy
all right.
boy.
We've been all right. I'm 2-0. I own Zeke, Shady, Rex Burkhead, Royce Freeman, and Carry On. Should I be tilting? Zeke was fine.
Yeah, Zeke is fine.
Other than that, look, things are moving
You're
up
fine.
for Carry On.
You're fine. You should not be tilting. That's the honest answer. You should not be tilting.
I have Burkhead and Freeman tilt. That is for sure.
If you want to try to take McCoy and Carry On, or McCoy and Burkhead, or whatever, and try to package a trade
I'd go
for
with McCoy and Freeman. Try and
Sure.
move 'em.
What-
Freaking
what-
Philip Lindsay, man.
whatever.
Are
would
you
get-
kidding me?
I know. We were saying all off season. Look, there's no chance. All off season, there's no chance Devonta Booker is going to keep Royce Freeman away because Devonta Booker's not good enough.
We
nailed it.
We got you, Devontae Booger.
Damn you, Philip Lindsay. All right.
JT Clark, I drafted Luck, but I picked Rivers off of waivers. Who would you take rest of season?
Rest of season,
Wow.
I think I would rather have Luck.
Man. Rivers is he's playing so well.
Rivers is playing great. But rest of season also
Andrew Luck
starts
will-
with this week.
Yeah.
And so who are you playing this week? Who I don't
Andrew
know.
Luck against the Eagles?
Andrew Luck against the Eagles,
Or-
tough, or
Phillip Rivers in
against
his 50% home game.
that's a 10% home game. Against the Rams. I'll have to do some research on that. That's tough. I would rather have Luck rest of season, but I'd pretty much stick with whoever I've got hired this week.
Rivers is just surrounded by talent. And Andrew Luck has
T.Y. Hilton, Doyle, Ebron, Hines in the backfield. I think Luck has plenty of weapons to get it done. Luck has had worse weapons than he has now and been a top 5 quarterback. So I don't think he's got a lack of ability to do it.
Chris Howell, I traded James Conner for Tom Brady because I had Eli and Mariota. I like getting Tom Brady, but I don't know about trading an RB1 for Tom Brady.
I would not have done that. If it's
go eat some Goo clusters.
He says he had Eli and Mariota, which leads me to believe maybe it's a 2-quarterback league.
Maybe.
I'm going to give Chris the benefit of the doubt.
All right.
It's probably not.
All right. Ray Smith, here's the situation. If 2 members agree to a trade in a text or whatever, then the team initiating the trade cancels after it's sent.
So basically, we're messaging each other.
Is the verbal agreement the trade? And the answer is unfortunately no.
Yes, the answer is unfortunately no, 100%.
Because just look at anything, like the world of business. If you have a handshake agreement, if you have a verbal business agreement, until it is in a contract, that thing can blow up.
You guys remember Frank Gore on the Eagles?
Yeah,
because he came to an agreement with them, but it was one in that legal tampering period announced. Both parties announced. And then he went and signed with the Colts because they did not have it down. So no, unfortunately,
it's a bad look. It makes you not want to trade with that person
Ray
anymore.
keeps asking how I am in Dynasty. I am 2-0 in Dynasty. Thank you, Ray.
That was in the listener
I swear that Jay Grizz's eyes just moved, according to Stephen. Yeah,
they
sure.
did. Don't worry about it.
Staring right into your soul.
Full PPR traded Stills and Watkins for Jordan Howard. 2-0. I like it. I think I like it.
Yeah.
Stills and Watkins.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. Edgar, Rex Burkhead, rest of season. Yeah. Well, you're already a thumbs down on Rex Burkhead?
I'm a thumbs down on Rex Burkhead rest of season because the combination of all of the normal Patriots things and Sony Michel and all that mixed with the injuries. I don't think we gave enough credence to his injury history.
Fair.
He's just never been able to do it, and so why we would think, okay, let's slot him for 16. I think he'll have relevance. Like this week, he could be a top 12 back. I'm not going to be surprised. But on the course of the season, I'm definitely down.
It's fair. Aaron Jones for Jack Doyle. We already did that. Dropping Cobb for Callaway in a half-point PPR. I would not go that far.
No, I would not either. I mean, look, they're both at best they're number 2s. Yeah. Let's call them both the second best wide receiver for their team.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather have the second best wide receiver for Tyrod Taylor or the second best wide receiver for Aaron Rodgers? It's that simple.
Yeah, it really is. I do like Callaway a lot,
and Callaway had, what do you have, like 4 targets?
He had 4 targets.
And you take that one deep bomb away, which is,
what did Cobb have last week?
Oh, Cobb had nothing. It was like 4 for.
I'm talking about targets, though.
Oh, targets? I don't know. I know he had 4 receptions.
Right.
But the week prior, he had 9 receptions for 142 yards on a
touchdown.
touchdown.
A 21-point comeback effort.
Sure.
Aaron Rodgers will not be down 21 points the rest of the league.
But I promise you won't see a 9 for 142 Antonio Callaway game this year. And you could see another one from Cobb.
That's a fair point. Fair point. Dylan says, hi, Brooks.
Hello.
Edgar, would you trade Jimmy Graham for... Oh, we had this. Will Disley or Jesse James this week at tight end? Are you giving anything to this Jesse James action?
I'm really, really not. It's all based on Vance Donald, which he hasn't been. I mean, if Vance Donald is not
He's
healthy,
Vance McDonald. At least say his name properly.
Fair enough. That's fair.
Vance Donald.
You know,
the man's got a farm.
He doesn't deserve enough respect for the full name right now.
It's fair.
It comes down to Vance McDonald.
Well, then
I'll give him that.
Yeah. All right.
If Vance McDonald is healthy this week and suits up and is playing, then I don't buy in. But if he's gone, I mean, look, the Outlaw has been. I believe he's the number one tight end in fantasy.
Out of nowhere.
I believe Will Dissly might be the number 2 tight end in fantasy.
Jesse James has never had this in his profile. But maybe he turned a corner. They're
not going to play the Kansas City Chiefs all the time where it's just like you said, where you're down by, double your score. Where are we at? Dallas.
Is it bad luck or good luck to eat the 0-2 cake? That's a good question.
That's a legit question.
If you eat that, is it worth it to break your ketosis to get some good mojo to eat the 0-2? It's like eating a W, only the opposite.
No, I think it would be bad luck because I would be eating that cake off the ground where I will be smashing it.
And your ketones will vanish.
Right. And then I would also get like dirt in my mouth. So no thank you. Stupid
My
cake.
crazy trying to get David Johnson and Amari Cooper and D Jackson and Buck. Wait. Am I crazy trying to get David Johnson and trading Amari Cooper, Deshaun Jackson, and Buck Allen? So you're trading those 3 guys for David Johnson. That would probably do it.
I would do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I could trade Amari Cooper, Buck Allen,
and Deshaun Jackson.
And DJ. Oh, sign me up. I'd grab David Johnson every single time. Because even if David Johnson is not exactly what you want, he can usually get a lot more trade value than that. So if you want to turn around and flip him for something more.
Flip that house.
Flip that.
All right. Stefan. I just got offered Tevin Coleman for my carry-on. Yes. If I could trade carry-on Johnson right now for Tevin Coleman, I would do it.
I would do it as well as the resident carry-on lover. Dallas defense versus Seattle, or Seattle defense versus Dallas. Seattle. They're at home, and they've got the 12th man there.
Start Rivers versus Rams or Cousins versus the Bills. It is Kirk Cousins. Will we hear more jokes about Jason being 0-3 on the Spitballers podcast?
You will not. Book it. My team is not losing this week. I'm not going 0-3. Not in the legal record, at least.
All right. We got to finish up here with a couple more questions. Sell high on Will Fuller or keep him? I am a keep. I would keep Will Fuller.
I would keep him as well. I don't think you can really sell high on him.
Fair. Half point PPR. Do I start Breida or Phillip Lindsay over Kenyon Drake as a flex?
I would.
Rankings are not done. The Miami is playing Oakland.
I mean, I'd be starting Drake.
Yeah.
I would go Drake.
I don't envision any of those other guys playing over Drake.
Breida, Lindsay.
All right, last one. What's up? This is from Daniel. What's up, guys? Gio or Drake this week? Rudolph or Kittle?
Gio or Drake?
Cincinnati's
in Carolina, I believe.
That is correct.
I think I go Drake there. And then what was the other? Kittle or who?
Kittle or Rudolph. I would play Kittle. Kittle is playing the Chiefs. The handsome one's going to have to put up some handsome points.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because, I think Kittle's right because Rudolph could very well have a very super easy early touchdown against Buffalo. But they're going to be up. And as soon as they're up, they're not needing to, like, we've seen them with a lead, and it's Rudolph's into block. Rudolph's not a pass catcher at that point. And so you either get that first and a half quarter touchdown from Rudolph, or he's going to have a bad game.
We need more teams to just say, you know what, let's find out how many points we can score this week.
We need the college system where you get credit for like your margin of victory, where it's like
I think points scored is it's like 5th in the tiebreaker or something.
They just need to have more coaches contracts with incentives for point thresholds. You know what I mean? At least offensive coordinators, right?
Because then the players have it, right? Because it's not points scored, but it's yardage based. And if you aren't getting those yards without scoring.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
That'll
do it.
Thank you guys for
Thank you, beautiful people.
For supporting.
yeah, the Footcast will be out tomorrow. Make sure you get your questions in there. We will see you next month for the live stream. Thank you so much for supporting the show. I hope you all do better than Jason this weekend. Goodbye.